throughout all of your horseback archery experience, throughout all the years, I've been told, I forgot who told me, I think it was Arsa or someone, but throughout the years, he told me that you've won over 70 plus championships, and that was in like the first position. You won first place. Was that true? What made you think that you wanted to teach the sport, that you wanted to make the sport better? What made you think, what was the main idea that you got that, oh, I think I want to improve this sport, I want to teach it well? Hungary, maybe you can tell the viewers at home or wherever they are, how's education in Hungary? Is it a good place to study for Indonesians to go there, or for anybody from anywhere to go to study in Hungary in general? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello viewers. Today we're at Kampung Makfiro, and currently we're gonna do a podcast. My name is Abdul Malik Rashid. I am a 12th grade student from Milbos International, and with me is...
I'm Hilal Mumtaz Saleh Harahap, and I'm too a 12th grade student in Milbos International.
And today we're gonna talk about and do a podcast with one of the best horseback archery athletes and masters out there, Mr. Christopher Nemethy.
Yes, he's the master of horseback archery and has trained a lot of selected people from horseback archery extracurricular.
Mr. Christopher, can you introduce yourself? Where you're from? And,
I'm Christopher Nemethy. I am from Hungary, but I born in Germany. This means my mother's German, my father's Hungarian. And we meet the beautiful sport horseback archery there. They have in Hungary a big tradition, and I teach this all over the world. For right now, I have one of the biggest organizations, and I'm also here in this beautiful country, Indonesia, and I'm teaching the best of the best.
Okay, so to start off our podcast, welcome, I guess, to Indonesia, to Kampung Makfiro. For the past week, you've been staying in Indonesia. What do you think about Indonesia in general and Kampung Makfiro, this area right now that you're staying at?
This is my second time here, and I need to say I love it. First of all, you have much better weather, because we in Europe in the same season, we have a really bad weather. I need to say even worse weather. It's quite cold, and everybody thinks in Hungary it's beautiful snow and everything is nice. No, it's not nice. It's muddy and cold, and few times when there's some snow we make some pictures and share that we have some snow, but usually it's not enough cold. It's really good to come here, because here the weather is much better, warmer, really stable. I like the culture, it's really beautiful, the peoples are really nice and open. I like also that many of you speaks English, and you are open to others, and we can all communicate together. I like the food that's really special, the spicy. Usually in Hungary I don't eat so much spicy, but here I eat, and in a way it's really delicious. All your foods, your drinks, all your fruits. You have so many fruits here. In Europe we have export or import fruits. It's not so fresh as you have. And I like, of course, this property, this private school area, the track, the horses, the teachers. And I've met a lot of new students, a lot of new peoples, and of course a lot of new friends.
Okay, so like you've said, this is your second time here, right? So out of both of your trips here, like if you can say, what's one thing that you like the most from this place? Just one thing.
The discipline.
The discipline.
I would like to say the discipline. Okay. The discipline of the students I like a lot.
Have you seen Indonesian culture though?
Yeah, I see a lot, and it's really good. And I need to say, I meet a lot of kids. I have 3,000 students all over the world. I have a lot of children, even in my school in Pomas. This is really close to Budapest. From 300 students, there are around 200 children. But what I really like that the children have a lot of discipline. There are, of course, children, and they start to play when it's time to play, but they can be really silent and really focused, and I like this a lot. It's really nice to see.
Okay, nice.
So what gets you into horseback archery in the first place?
How it starts? In a way, it was an accident. Yeah. What was happened? It's strange to tell the story. We have a weekend house close to Budapest, and he was going from our weekend house to Budapest to our main house, and there was a guy who was not concentrating and go out of the main street, and we crashed his car.
Oh,
and
okay.
The guy who we crashed is Magyar Gábor. He's one of the biggest horseback archers in Hungary.
Yeah.
He have a huge place with 600-700 horses, and we had a deal. He don't want to pay our repair things, and he asked my father what would be happen when the two kids go to some camps. This means he don't repair the cars. We can go for free for camps. And my father tell, yeah, this car was even old. He want to buy a new one. This means it was going into the trash. And we was the whole summer season at these camps. And this was the first time he was meeting the Hungarian traditional way. There was many, many traditional things. And we was also seeing horseback archery the first time. And after, we loved the sport because the Nemethy family is a big riding family. My uncle, in the times he was going to America with the Hungarian riding knowledge, and he was building up the show jumping. This means for us it's really important to build up riding sports. And we was riders before, but when we meet the horseback archery, we see this is our mission, what we want to build up. And then we were searching other horseback archery clubs that was doing it more professional. And after 6-7 years, I was doing my own school. And first of all, small. We had just few students. And now we have over 30-40 clubs all over the world. We're working with 48 countries together. They're coming to me or I travel to them. And we try to make also large competitions. We have a huge web shop with a lot of equipments. This means I like to develop something, but it starts from the beginning with an accident, how to say.
Yeah.
And in a way, nothing happened, just it's everything, happened. When something happened, what's maybe bad, in every bad is some positive.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, so throughout all of your horseback archery experience, throughout all the years, I've been told, I forgot who told me, I think it was Arsa or someone, but throughout the years, he told me that you've won over 70 plus championships, and that was in like the first position.
Yeah.
You won first place, was that true?
Yeah, I was starting to compete. This means horseback archery, the sport horseback archery. I was 14 when I started to learn it really, the details. And with maybe 16, I was doing the first competition. Of course, with the first competition, I was shooting really bad. I was shooting just one arrow into the target, and my horse gave me more points as my shot. I was shooting 7 points in 9 rounds. This was my first experience, but maybe I was 15, close to 16, and then I like it, and I was continue, and with 16, I was in the world rank list number 10, and with 17, I was in the world rank list number 5, and after I was visiting many competitions, smaller and bigger ones, and till I was 30, I was winning totally 72, as I remember, 72 international competitions. The largest was won 2 times the European, no, sorry, I'm 3 times European champion. I even don't know 2, but 3 times European champion, 1 time world champion in the tower track, and I was winning in Jordani, the biggest competition, and I travel all over the world, and I'm the less competitors who was not just staying at home with their own horse and with their own track. I was even going from Asia to America and winning there too. And it is quite difficult to win in a different country, different weather condition, different horse, everything is different, and then you need to win. And second and third place, I was 168 times. But I realized this is good, but I want to build up more the sport, because I realize the sport is huge, but not big enough. And I start also to teach, and I have 75 or 6 champions. This means all my students, and I really love to build up the sport. And from COVID time, I go a bit in the background. This means I was more into the business and build up the sport and not compete so much anymore, because to compete and to be the first, to be a good teacher, to be a good business person, to be with my family, to put everything together, it's quite difficult, because the day is just 24 hours, and this was my decision. I'm a bit in the background, and I teach the horseback archery world, and now my goal is to build up the sport.
Okay, so what made you think that you wanted to teach the sport, that you wanted to make the sport better? What made you think, what was the main idea that you got that, oh, I think I want to improve this sport, I want to teach it well? What was the idea?
It starts like this, that, and this is really interesting. Everybody thinks that I was a big leader. My father and my brother was the leaders. Yeah. I was the background. This means I was every time the silent guy. I was really shy, how to say. I was not even speaking. I was speaking mostly German and Hungarian. I was not so strong in Hungarian language. And I remember I was a good rider. I can really nice communicate with horses. And there was a guy who see me that I teach a horse, and he was asking me if I can teach him. And he was an adult. I was just 16, and I had not even an official teacher, paper teacher. Yeah, I had a bit knowledge about riding, but I was a positive guy, and I say yes. And I tell him I don't speak so good Hungarian, but I will try to teach him. And he was doing just some riding lessons. And after 1 week, he asked me, can he bring his brother? I say, why not? And then we had 2 students. And after a month, I had 10 students. And it was starting that I don't say no. But I was a shy guy. By myself, I will never teach, how to say. I was not even... And then I had interest. I go to clinics and I learn how to teach, what to do. And then 1 year later, archers was coming, and they asked me if I want to teach archery. And then a few weeks later, then we had horseback archers. And everything starts like that people ask me. Then we go to the European Championships. I was winning the European Championships. In other countries, I meet other countries' leaders and other countries' teachers. And they ask me, wow, I'm a really good horseback archery. Can I teach it? Usually, a really good horseback archer is not a good teacher. Because when you're a champion, you have a different mind. But I was winning because I had good skills, and I was a big heart guy, and then I start to learn languages. I start to go really deep in the detail. And every time I was asking myself, do I teach good? Do I teach bad? And it come out after some clinics. I realize I teach 3 years something bad in riding, some little thing. And then I change it. And I tell to my students, sorry guys, I was not knowing. No, I know. No, I will change your hand position example. And I correct myself. And now, finally, I think we have a really good teaching level. And we do an academy. Many countries was joining. And now we are teaching teachers. And we had a lot of positive feedbacks, because this means everybody asked me, why do we know that somebody is a good cook? It's easy. When you do a good, delicious meal, and people say, I love the food, this is the best reference. The same with a teacher. When do we know that you're a good teacher? When you have champions, when you have kids, they're happy. It don't need to be just champions. There's many horseback archers that do it in a hobby level. They do, and they feel great. And I get many, many feedbacks. Christopher, you changed my life. Christopher, we had a good lesson. Christopher, we have a nice team building program. And then after time, we had 70 champions, and more countries was joining. Just I realized I cannot do it alone. This was the reason that in COVID time, I started to do teacher clinics. This means clinics for teachers. And I tried to copy myself in them. This means I give all the knowledge, and they can continue to do this in their own country.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So basically, you learn from your experience, right?
Not just from my experience. I had a lot of good teachers of course, by my experience too. This means I need to mention first of all my father and my brother because they was helping me a lot. I was shy and this means the family was teaching each other. I had a really good voltige teachers. This means I was doing karate 12 years long. I was doing swimming. I was doing voltige. Voltige is a riding style. A horse going in a circle and you need to make gymnastic exercises. And we meet really good teachers in these times. This was the best teachers in Hungary. We had a good sensei. This was our karate teacher. He was teaching our martial art and we had a lot of luck. Of course, in horseback archery, I can mention Magyar Gábor. I can mention Kassa Lajos. He's also one of the biggest horseback archers. There's many horseback archer teachers I was learning. Totally, I had maybe 25 teachers. Some was really good, some was medium, and some was really worst. But I can say just one thing. When you have a worst teacher, you can also learn a lot. You can learn what you don't need to do. This means I was learning from every situation. And of course, when I was learning, you need to do your homeworks, you need to work on it. And of course, you need to put the knowledge into the reality. And this was, of course, in a way difficult, but it's possible. And the biggest teacher was the horses. Because the horses say every time the truth. This means when you sit on the horse, you need to be a leader. The horse feels when you're not a leader. When you're too soft, it's not good. When you're too hard, it's not good. And when you stabilize your inside and your outside, and you have a perfect body language, the horse can read yourself. And when the horse is connected to you, and the horse feels safe with you, then you are a really stable person. This means the animals was helping me a lot to be like that.
Nice. Okay. Maybe for the viewers out there that would want to know how they want to start going to this kind of sport, which advice would you give? Would you tell them to learn how to horseback first or to archer first? Which one is more important to learn first?
More difficult is for sure the riding.
Yeah.
Riding part is more difficult. This means when we speak about horseback archery and we split it in percentage, archery is maybe 30%. Riding is 60%, and the last 10% is horseback archery. This means when you know how to shoot and you know how to ride, then with just a little bit you are a horseback archer. Of course, to do it in a high level, it's a bit different. But archery sport, first of all, is a lovely sport. I think it's really good because this sport everybody can do, first of all, from young to old. Just my advice, when somebody is really young, maybe under 6, he can start, but just for fun and with a really weak bow. Because when the kids are growing, it's not so healthy for them because the bow it's a one-side sport. This means you do everything on one side. And we are, of course, doing a really nice gymnastic and cool down, and we are trying to pull the bow with the other hand out to make both body sides strong. But I think it's better when the kids are a bit older, 7, 8 years old. And when they're starting small, then a bit archery with a light bow. Archery is a really beautiful sport because when you're doing it and how you shoot, it's a mirror from you. This means when you cannot let it go, the string example, this means you cannot let it go something in your life. This means archery is really good to be focused. This means for right now, what I see in the life, there's a lot of input, a lot of media is coming to our mind, and we forget to focus. This means we get a lot of pressure, and we don't know what to do. Archery is beautiful because you can select what's important, what's not important, and what's important, you can really go into it. Example, everybody who do archery are starting to be good in school. Why? Because they learn to focus. And riding is even better. Many people use riding for rehabilitation. It's good for the body. And as I tell you, the horse loves the balance. Because the only thing what the rider can give is the safety concept. This means we tell the horse, I will protect you from the wolves. But of course, there is no wolves in a way. There is wolves, but in the stable, they will never be attacked, but the horse don't know. Instinctive, the horses are afraid, and when a rider is sitting on, The horse needs to trust in us, and of course when we let the reins go and we start to shoot, the horse can go in a way everywhere, can go left, up front, can stops, but he is trusting in us, we are trusting in the horse, and this is just working when we stabilize ourselves. And I think every kid, when they're sitting on the horse, is not just a sport, it's a preparation for the life. And I think the combination for archery and horseback archery is a really good thing. I think the best would be when in the schools, everybody do horseback archery just 1-2 years. Not to learn the sport, of course, to learn it too, but to feel it, because when they can do it in a nice level, they will be really good in school, they will be really good in the life, in a university. I think it's a really nice preparation. And of course, in Hungary, when people are coming to us, few are doing just archery and a bit riding, or the opposite, or both. When somebody wants to be a horseback archer, he can maybe do an archery lesson and after a riding lesson. And after time, after passing some exams, they put it together, and then we have a horseback archer. We do it like that.
Okay, right now, like horseback archery is really popular, right? So popular. Do you have any plans for horseback archery in the future?
It's really popular, yes. All over the world they do it, close in every continent, from America to Asia, Europe to South Africa. We have everywhere horseback archers. We are building it up to make it more professional, because we have a lot of federations. There are a lot of positive things and some small difficulties, because the government are not supporting it enough. Some countries have more power, as Kazakhstan example, like Turkey, they get more support, and many countries have no support. And the problem is when you're building up a sport without support, and this sport is a beautiful sport, but it's not a cheap sport. Not because of the bow would be the cheaper part. The problem is the horse. The horses are eating when the doctor is coming, or anything, the saddle, the equipment. The horse is a luxury sport, and it was every time. This means when you want to build up a sport without financial support, it's quite difficult. This is the reason we are trying to motivate everyone to help a bit or much, because when there is no financial support, the students need to pay all the fees to get it in positive. And it's difficult, of course, because when you want to do the sport and you want to do it in a high level, and you want to travel, of course, because we have a lot of competitions all over the world, there's, of course, flight tickets, hotel fee, and this is quite difficult. And I try to put the sport into the television to make it more professional, to find sponsors who coming behind the sport, put their logos, make some commercial. It's really good that they make commercial. And when they can support the competitors, the children, the organizers, then everything will be speeding up. But I think every sport is like that the first 2 steps, first 2-3 steps are the most difficult. And after it starts to roll, and then when it's rolling, then we have more and more positives. But for right now, we have really good technique, we have a lot of nice equipments, we have really nice competitions, and we have more and more competitors. This means I think we can have a really huge sport in 3, 4, 5 years. And I hope we get a lot of support of many peoples.
Okay, but as you say, horseback archery is a very big sport, right? There's many federations, organizations across the world, right? And there's competitions everywhere. It's a very popular sport, as Hilal said. But why isn't horseback archery considered an Olympic sport? Why is it not in the Olympics? Why is it always on their own?
The main reason is there is 2 ways to go into the Olympics. The first way, you have really huge contacts. And we have some good contacts, but really strong contacts we don't have. The contacts can be from students, parents, example, or someone who love the sport and have contacts to go really, who bring the sport into this level. The second way is the official way, and the official way looks quite simple. there are a lot of clubs and there is a federation. In Europe, example, in Hungary, you need to have 10 clubs with 10 members in it to make a federation in the country. And there's, of course, every country have a federation rule. This means it depends what is the rule. This is in Hungary, example Korea, you need to have just 3 clubs to make a federation. This means every country have a different way. And you need to have 50 countries with 50 federations to make a world federation. And as I know, the number is 10,000 registered horseback archers we need to come into the Olympics. This means for right now we have around 5,000–6,000 horseback archers all over the world, but who do it actively, the sport, who can travel all over the world are maybe 1,000. This means we need 9,000 more, and this is a quite, it looks like a quite huge number, but I don't think it's possible to do it in 4 or 5 years because the growing is exponential. This means it starts slowly and it goes really fast up. This means when we have a lot of teachers and a lot of support, we can do in a way everything. And I hope it goes into the Olympics, but I'm often skeptical, is it a good idea? Because Olympics is often on business.
Oh, yes.
This means when you are in the Olympics, they will tell what to do, how to do, and. And now we are a free sport with a lot of positive things. And when we go into the Olympics, we win and we lose, in a way. I don't know what will be in the future, but when we go to these steps that we need to go in, or we can go in, or we can go out, for sure the leaders, they will make the perfect decision. They will see what's the positive, what's the negatives. I see both. I see positives and negatives. But to be in the Olympics, of course, it's a big honor to be in, but we need to see everything.
So for now, is it better to stay as a free concept of competition, or is it better to go in and start to make preparations to go into Olympics? Which one is better for now?
For right now, for sure, most important is to grow. We are growing. Which direction, we don't know. When we reach a level, then for sure many options will come. And we, the horseback archery community, need to decide what do we want to do. Of course, for the hobby horseback archers, in a way they don't want to have Olympics because they want to have some fun. But for people who take it really serious, they need to see a vision. And to have a vision, example, Olympics are in the television, everybody knows it's a huge commercial, how to say. This means I'm sure for the advanced horseback archers and for the champions, it will be a big honor to be there. And also for the parents. This means it's really, because when we reach a level and we meet these big VIPs and they show us what do we win when we joining to the Olympics, what do we lose, then we can make a good decision. For right now, it's difficult to say because I cannot see in the future, but both, it's great. To be free, it's really nice, but to be in a business system is also really nice. We need both. The best would be we stay free and we do business, but it's not so easy because when somebody gives some support, often he wants something.
He wants something, yeah.
And that's normal. And I'm really open for everything because my personal interest is to build up the sport. And I know what the people need. And I'm for sure we can make the perfect solution, what make happy the most of us. There will be for sure some small percentage that will be not happy with any decision. But this is happening in every sport, how to say. When it's small, it's like that. Then there are some contracts and the sport is rolling in a direction. And maybe not everybody will be happy with that, but this is life.
Okay, so maybe we can move on from other topics from horseback archery. We've talked about this before. Maybe we can talk about this in the podcast so the viewers can maybe get something out of it. Me and Hilal, we are actually right now applying for scholarships in Hungary. Maybe you can tell the viewers at home or wherever they are, how's education in Hungary? Is it a good place to to study, for Indonesians to go there, or for anybody from anywhere to go to study in Hungary in general?
First of all, Hungary is a small country in the center of Europe. We have around 10 million people who are living there. Our main capital city is Budapest, and there are the most universities. And Budapest, it's a really culture city. This means it's a really old, new combination, but it's beautiful. And there are many votes in Europe. What's the most beautiful city in Europe? And often the decision is between Prague. It was also close to us. It's a bit in the north from Hungary, and between Budapest. This means many people vote for Budapest. How beautiful is it? And the education system, it's really good. There is a lot of universities, international universities. We have IT universities. We have a lot lawyer universities, veterinary universities. They are quite large, and people coming from all over the world. When you go to Budapest, in the center of Budapest, you don't need to speak Hungarian, because in a way everybody speaks English. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of places people can go to study. The school system is really good. The public system is really good, and everybody's asking, is it safe in Europe? Not every country is safe. Hungary is really safe, because our minister president was making some decisions to make it safe, and now it's a really safe country. You can walk there, and in the night, even when there's some parties, and you don't need to be afraid that something will happen. We are really open to all religion. This means that we have everything. This means when somebody is coming with their culture, they will not feel that they are leaving the home. They will go from home to home. And Hungary is a beautiful country, I need to say. When somebody wants to go, of course, outside of Budapest, there's beautiful places to see. We have a lot of nature, hot water coming from the ground, because from Europe we have one of the best water. This means our water is really good. You can easily drink from the pot. It's even better drink from the pot as from the shop.
Oh,
to say. Okay. It's really good, the water. We have a lot of hot baths. When somebody have injury problems, you can go there in the hot bath, and many people are coming all over the world there to recover. This means when somebody have a problem in the joints, it's the best place to go. And we have a lot of sport things to do. Hungary is really good in sports. This means when somebody want to go to university and want to do some sports, they can do. Of course, when you're coming to Hungary and you want to do horseback archery, you are really welcome to do, because we have just 15 minutes from Budapest far. This means people can come. This means I think we have everything. And about the financial part, every university have rules. I don't know the rules. When you have a good education point, maybe it's free to be at the university, or maybe you need to pay. How much, I really don't know. You need to check. But when you want to rent a house there, it's not expensive. It depends, of course, which house you want to rent, because when you rent a big villa, of course, it will be not cheap. But people's kids from university, they usually take a house and they split the fee. 2-3 kids are sleeping in one house, and it's not so expensive. And Budapest, I need to say, I was living 70 years there. Now I'm living close to Budapest, and there's everything. This means when you want to learn, you can learn. When you want to do parties, you can do parties. When you want to go and drink a coffee, you can go to drink a coffee. We have everything. We have a lot of types of restaurants. This means we have the Hungarian kitchen, but we have Japanese kitchen, and. I'm sure you will find also Indonesian type of kitchen. This means you will not miss your country food, because you will find everything. We have a lot of nice shopping centers. This means Budapest, it's a really international country with everything what the people want. And what I like, Hungarians, they are a really open country. This means when you're coming there, they will welcome you with a big heart, and they have really good teachers. Maybe some of the universities are a bit strict, This means you need to learn.
Yes, of course.
This means they're strict. This is one of the reasons why people are coming, because they get a good education. And the teachers, they will not give you a good mark because of sympathetic reasons. They want to teach you, and they want to see that you was really learning. And when you don't learn, then it's possible that you failed. And many people, after a few years, they're going back to their countries. And some of the kids, some of the university people stay in Hungary because it's a beautiful country. Of course, because of the war and because of the problems in Europe, the prices was jumping up, but it's even not so expensive. This means compared to Europe, because everybody thinks Europe have the same prices. No, there's really rich European countries and poor European countries. We belong something between, but you can get a really nice meal for a fair price. This means you can rent a house for a fair price. You can make a sport. It's not so expensive like, example, Germany.
So you said that Hungary has like law schools and all that, but what is the most favorite, what is the most wanted subject in Hungary?
This is difficult. We are really good in science, in biology, in math. There's a lot of really good IT schools, but mostly in science, Hungary is strong. But as I remember, for right now, so many people are coming to Hungary, and there's a lot of international companies, and the parents are traveling with the kids there. This means there is a lot of education. This means, as I remember, you can find close to be everything. But I think for sure it's science. And history is really strong too. But what's the strongest, it's really difficult to say. I need to check by myself. But Hungary, I know I meet many people there. In Hungary, there's often some open days, and we change to German, we change to English. And I speak with maybe 30, 40 persons from the university, and everybody loves Hungary. There was nobody who was saying, wow, Hungary, it's really good. Yeah, the weather, we have winter time. This means from November till April we have winter, but it's not so cold, okay? Everybody thinks it's minus 20. No, it's not. It's between maximum, it can be few days, it's minus 10, maybe minus 20. We have few times a bit snow, but we have not so cold weather like in Finland or like in Sweden in the north of that's really cold. And we have, of course, some hot summer weather. This means usually August and July can be hot, and then we speak maybe about 40 degrees, and this is maybe 1 week. But usually we have a really nice weather. People love to come to Hungary, and many tourists are coming, of course, all over the world. Budapest is a really nice destination. We have one big airport. It's quite close to Budapest. It's 30 minutes. And the public system is really nice too. This means there's subways. In Budapest we have 4. There's really fast buses and trains. And even when you're living outside of Budapest, there are green trains, and you can go really fast without to stay in the traffic. Because of course, as every big city, we have traffic in the morning, we have traffic in the night, but it's not so big. This means everybody, I realize in Jakarta, it's amazing, how to say.
Yes.
It's amazing that 10 million people, as I hear, people are living there. How you drive, it's amazing. You are all genius, I need to say.
Yes.
This means when Hungary need to drive like that, for sure our country will be maybe not existing, but we have not this kind of traffic. We have quite safe. And when somebody is a student and don't have money for a car, he can be really fast traveling in Budapest. And as I know, the monthly ticket to use everything costs maybe 25, 30 euros. It's not even much, how to say, because there's a student discount.
Yes.
And they have a lot of discounts to go into the cinema, example, to go into this and that. They get support of the Hungarian government.
Okay, so you said that Budapest is a really beautiful country, right? A beautiful city. And it has a lot of things. It has many things. But for the people who want to go other than Budapest, do you have any recommendations?
What I saw, what I hear, I look few documentary. I don't know if it's like that as it says, but for sure one of the most beautiful destinations is Switzerland. Switzerland is in the center of Europe. It's not belongs to the European Union. It's a country by themselves, and there's a lot of things to do. They have one of the best education. Maybe they have the best education in the world, as I hear. And of course, for the Swiss, it's really important to give a good education. It's possible to go to Switzerland. Of course, for sure, they have English and German education, but it's not a cheap country. This means everything costs a lot, but it's beautiful. How to say, the nature, the mountains. They have, in a way, everything, just no ocean. And what I think, when somebody go to university, it's really important to also keep contact with others. Because for right now, the most important is for all the young to have knowledge and have contacts. And when you have both, you can do, in a way, everything. But, and the right contacts, this means contacts who can help you. This means when you go to a school and you meet the people who do the same, and you have a really open mind, then you have a really big power after university, because they will do the same maybe somewhere else. And when you are smart, you start to work with them, because when you are 2 or 3, you can be really strong. Switzerland is a really nice place to find really good contacts. And of course, this is one of the most powerful economic countries in the world. It's really hard how they do. One more education place is Japan. What I hear, Japan, they are quite strict, as I hear, but they have a lot of energy. They put a lot of energy into the education. And Canada is one other country who what's really good education. But when we speak about Europe, I hear that it's really difficult, because Austria, Germany, there's a lot of countries, even London, they have good university like Oxford example. I don't know exactly how good they are, but I meet people who was in Oxford and they are really smart. This means for sure, and as I remember, they belongs to the top universities in the world. But to come into this university, you need to be really smart. This means, I think, and this is for everybody who listen to this podcast, and for the young generation, I know the parents say, learn, 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 right? They try to do us better, and they do us to prepare us for our life. And the life, it's quite simple. You are learning, you are in the school till 18. From 18, you go to university. Usually, maybe it's a bit different here, but it's maybe similar. You go to university, and with 25, maybe 30, you finish the university, depends what you learn. But with this, this means, and you go to the school with 6, 7 in Europe. This means from 7 to 25, this is the investment what change your whole life. Means when you are putting your energy into the learning and you don't make a lot of parties and a lot of mobile, because I know the kids like to look the television and all these crazy things and play PlayStation. It's really important to be children, and I agree with that. But it's really important to learn when it's necessary to learn, because you invest 15, 20 years and this will change your whole life. This means when you learn, and you put your energy in, and I don't say it because of the parents, I say it because of you, because the young generation thinks it will be positive. No, it will be positive when you do it. When you do it. Of course, you will have the support of your parents, but they cannot find the solution for everything. This means it's really important to learn, it's really important to do, because when you have a good university, you will find a good job, and the good job will totally change your whole life. This means, I think, because I was doing also the same. My parents tell me, learn, learn, and I was not often listening to them. But they had right. Now I know they had right. When I was young, I was thinking, why they tell me to go early to bed. You understand? This means it's really important to learn. And I can just tell to the young generation, it's worth to learn. Because you have a good job, you have money to go to holidays, you have money to feed your family. It's important to have a good life.
Okay, so maybe last question before we end this podcast. Since you're a teacher, you can be considered as a teacher. You're very avid in the education world. Who do you think, or how do you think you would want to continue your legacy? Because Arsa once told me that you were gonna plan out how you were gonna leave the horseback archery world. So maybe to tell the viewers for this last question, how are you gonna continue your legacy? Who is it that you're gonna pass down your legacy to?
For right now, we are in a good level. What we had finished, we have a lot of students, a lot of teachers. We have a really large web shop. We make live streaming in YouTube. We are trying to work with sport ministers, politicians to jump up the sport. My main problem is the time. I'm traveling a lot. This means I'm traveling. Last year it was 38 times. This means I'm mostly at airports. It's a lifestyle and it's really nice, but my plan is to have a family. Of course, I have a girlfriend and I have a father, mother, and so on. But when I want to marry someone and I want to have children, then for sure I want to have time for my kids. And for right now, I'm traveling so much and I'm working so much. It's good to build up my career and it's really good to help other countries. But I cannot help myself and I want to see my kids growing up. This means I don't want to say I want to stop totally because I love horseback archery. It's a nice sport, it's like a mission. And when you have the possibility that your job is your hobby, in the same time, it's really amazing. And I like to do, but not so much, because when I travel 30 times, you can imagine we have 52 weekends, and 38 times means every weekend slowly I travel. And this is my problem. This is the reason I make the teacher education. And when we have teachers, I try to send them and not me. And I will do just maybe 15 camps. And then I can go into the family project, and I want to have kids because I think when you have kids, the life will be more colorful. And of course it's difficult because kids cost money, yes. They are not sleeping, they are crying, and there's a lot of action happen when you have kids. Yeah, but it's really good to have kids, I think. This is my personal opinion. I want not just one, I want to have 2, 3. This is my dream, but I want to keep time. This is the reason I want to build up the sport till the level it's going on. Without me, I will be a bit going into the background, and I hope there will be a new generation coming, a younger generation who have maybe time, or maybe you too will do, who knows. This means you continue to build up the sport, and I will be every time with you. I don't want to travel 38 times. This is my personal opinion. And I'm sure it will be a big sport. How big it will be, I don't know. But it will be every time bigger for sure. And I think it's a fascinating sport. And I hope everybody who is listening to this podcast have a dream. Dream big. Really go to your dream, fight for it. And there's many people who will be jealous, who will tell, don't do. Don't listen to them. Do. Because I remember when I was doing, so many people was telling it's not possible to do. Everything is possible to do. Just have knowledge, have context, and really do. For sure I'm working maybe too much, but I love to do what I do. Few times I'm tired, few times I'm sleeping at the airport, but I think it makes sense to fight for something. And everybody who have a dream, really do it because it makes sense.
Okay. I guess that answers the question. Thank you so much, Christopher, for your time.
And it concludes our
podcast.
It
concludes our podcast for today. Thank you for watching wherever you are. I hope this podcast can be of good information about horseback archery and about Hungary. And if you would like to know more about Christopher, do you have an Instagram, Christopher? Can you tell the viewers your social media?
You can for sure find me, Christopher Nemethy. It's Nemethy, THY, and the Christopher is written.
What's your club, the club name?
Nemethy Horseback Archery Academy. You can find us too. or you find just our website is www.nemethy.info. You can find us for sure. But when you write just in Google Nemethy Academy, you will find us for sure.
Okay. Thank you so much, Christopher.
Guys, see you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.